Wars are expensive, not just in lives, in money. And here's the part nobody likes to talk about. Wars don't destroy money, they move it. While the news shows explosions, money quietly changes hands in the background. This video is not about politics, not about sides, not about opinions. It's about one question: who pays for wars and who profits from them? Wars don't come with a receipt. That's intentional. You never see a bill that says war cost. Instead, the price is hidden. Hidden in higher taxes, hidden in inflation, hidden in public debt. Governments don't pay for wars with their own money. They use your future income. When spending explodes, money is printed. When money is printed, prices rise. And when prices rise, your savings quietly lose value. That's the trick. You don't feel it immediately, so you don't resist it. This is why wars are funded this way. Pain delayed is pain accepted. Debt is the most powerful weapon modern wars use. Not bombs, not tanks. Debt allows wars to continue without public resistance, because no one feels the cost immediately. Borrowing makes war look affordable, but affordability is an illusion. Debt doesn't disappear when the war ends. It stays. It compounds. It follows generations. When governments borrow for war, they're not asking permission. They're committing future labor, your future work, your future taxes, your future purchasing power. Debt turns citizens into long-term sponsors of conflicts they never voted for. And the most dangerous part: debt creates dependency. Once a system runs on borrowing, peace becomes expensive, because peace doesn't justify endless spending. Here's the uncomfortable truth: in debt-based systems, ordinary people always lose. Not because they're lazy, not because they're uninformed, but because they play by rules designed against them. When war debt grows, money flows upward. Those with assets are protected. Those with cash are punished. If you live paycheck to paycheck, inflation hits you first. If you rely on wages, debt traps you longer. If you don't own assets, you absorb the shock. Ask yourself this: when prices rise, do your savings grow or shrink? When governments borrow more, do your opportunities expand or disappear? Most people feel the pressure, but never see the mechanism behind it. That's why the system survives. People blame themselves instead of the structure. Now let me ask you directly: when debt grows, who gets safer, you or those who control capital? Because debt doesn't affect everyone equally. Those close to power don't fear inflation. They position for it. They don't hold cash. They hold assets. They don't react to crises. They anticipate them. Debt concentrates power. It centralizes decision-making. It rewards access, not effort. It protects those who are already insulated. Ask yourself this: when money is created, are you closer to the source or at the end of the chain? Because those at the top see debt as a tool. Those at the bottom experience it as pressure. Debt doesn't just finance wars, it reshapes hierarchy. So why does this system repeat itself? Why do wars keep happening generation after generation? Here's the uncomfortable answer: because the system isn't designed to prevent wars, it's designed to survive them. War resets pressure. It justifies massive spending. It silences financial criticism. It creates urgency where none existed. Ask yourself this: how many policies would people accept in peacetime that suddenly become necessary during war? War allows debt to grow without resistance. It turns fear into permission. Now the harder question: could countries exist without war? Technically, yes. Structurally, no. Because modern systems rely on growth, and growth demands expansion, competition, and tension. When economies slow down, conflict becomes a release valve. Not always with weapons, but when it becomes useful, weapons appear. This doesn't mean war is inevitable tomorrow. It means war is compatible with the system, and anything compatible with the system will repeat until the system changes. So why don't people resist even when they understand what's happening? Because understanding doesn't equal power. Most people aren't silent because they agree. They're silent because resistance feels expensive. Speaking out risks stability. Questioning the system risks isolation. Opting out risks uncertainty. And the system knows this. It doesn't need force. It uses comfort, fear, and distraction. As long as life feels barely manageable, people tolerate almost anything. Here's a real question for you: if you knew the system was stacked against you, would you fight it? Or would you try to survive inside it? There's no moral answer here. just an honest one. Some people choose security, some choose silence. Some don't even feel they have a choice. Now I want your perspective. Do you think people accept this system because they're manipulated or because they see no realistic alternative? Do you believe large-scale resistance is possible today, or has the cost become too high? If you disagree with anything I've said, say it in the comments. If you see it differently, explain how this conversation matters. Because silence is how systems stay unchanged. So here's the quiet truth. Wars aren't accidents, debt isn't temporary, and money never moves randomly. What you've seen in this video isn't a conspiracy. It's a structure, a system where fear creates permission, debt creates obedience, and silence keeps everything running. Most people will never see this, not because they're stupid, but because seeing it changes how you live. Once you understand how money really moves, you stop asking, why is this happening? And start asking, how do I position myself inside it? You don't need to agree with everything I said. You don't even need to like it. But if this video made you think, if it made you question the stories you're usually told, then you're already ahead. If you want more videos like this, .com, honest, and focused on how money actually works, subscribe to the channel, because the loudest battles are on the surface, but the real ones are fought quietly. With money,